My name is Haley Wright, and welcome to another edition of Emerging Issuer. Joining us in the studio today is Phil Viggiani, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for IDGlobal Corporation, a company that trades on the over-the-counter pink sheet in the U.S. under the symbol IDGJ. But before we start the interview, first, here's a little bit of information on the company. IDGlobal provides a range of leading technologies specifically designed to provide private enterprise and governments 100% solutions for their counterfeiting infections and loss prevention, as well as anti-theft security programs. Their nanomolecular market, or TAGs, are specifically designed for global anti-counterfeiting application, and its ID forensic products provide loss prevention and anti-theft solutions for annual $800 billion anti-counterfeiting and loss prevention markets. These products and nanomolecular tags and ID forensic are also registered trademarks of IDGlobal Corp. Welcome to Emerging Issuer, Phil.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
Awesome. Phil, the company's mission statement is to provide solutions for combating piracy and counterfeiting. What makes your technology special from what's out there already?
Well, Haley, there's actually 2 points I want to make. One is that about 90 to 95% of all the anti-counterfeiting technologies and solutions out there now are based on an optical detection method. Because our entire technology, our core technology, is totally covert and virtually impossible to see, we don't have to worry about anybody trying to counterfeit our product, because our basic credo is you can't counterfeit what you can't see. The second thing, which is even more important, is the fact that you're dealing with a technology that, because of the lock and key situation we have with the proprietary nature of our taggant and the patented side of our detection, it makes reverse engineering virtually impossible to detect.
Great, Phil. Recently, the company put out news about its collaboration with ATL Pharma Securities. How has that relationship enhanced what you're doing presently, and how does that benefit the overall business model?
We looked at a few different verticals, and one of them was pharmaceutical, because when you look at the pharmaceutical industry, unlike automotive or aviation or even garment, fashion, and footwear, the pharmaceutical industry has one basic design. If the packaging is counterfeit, you can bet what's inside it is counterfeit. To that end, packaging has become a very integral part of what we do. ATL is a company that basically is the gold standard in all of North America, probably the world, for protocols for handling labeling of very high sensitivity drugs. In other words, ATL handles over 53% of all pharmaceutical clinical trial drug labeling in North America. That's more than everybody else combined. These people are literally the ISO 9003 gold standard of pharmaceuticals. They're already into the pharmaceutical industry. They already know the people. What we've done is we've included another product from our core technology of suites of products that we've enhanced to their labels, which can combine up to 15 different languages and up to 35 pages just for one prescription. So we're able to basically take their 10 trademarked products that are already theirs in full ownership and give them another lock and key method, so it's virtually impossible to counterfeit those labels, which is very important in the market, because basically 45 to 50,000 people a year die from bad drugs.
Wow. With the company being publicly traded, obviously everyone is interested in shareholder value. What steps are you taking to nurture that process?
Well, I think there's a number of steps we're taking. One is, one of the things, because of the type of business we're in, if you're not familiar with anti-counterfeiting, or I should say counterfeiting and piracy, is probably the biggest emerging market on the planet. In fact, you always look to the criminals to give you your first clue. Organized crime and terrorists are using, they'd rather use underwear and toothpaste and microchips than they would cocaine and prostitution to generate income. Because if you have, let's say, a kilo of CPUs and a kilo of cocaine, basically it's the same price on the street, but your distribution is every trunk on Canal Street in New York or major department store chain, as opposed to some guy standing on the corner waiting to be arrested. So you've got this huge distribution chain, you've got an emerging market. So what makes this shareholder value so strong is that there are only a few players in the marketplace doing anti-counterfeiting technologies that are ahead of the curve. There's a lot of late players coming into the game. We've been doing this for about 7 years. We perfected our lock and key method, and we've already established the verticals that we want to penetrate 2 years ago. That's what I think brings the greatest shareholder value to the client, or to the shareholders we have now, is that we're ahead of the curve and we already know where we're going 2 years from now.
Great, Phil. That's awesome. Now, last question. This is primarily for our viewers out there. Why should the community stand up and take notice of ID Global Corporation?
We're what would be called a virtually David and Goliath type of scenario. We're the David. What we've done is we have found over the last, I would say, year and a half, we were concerned about the fact that people didn't understand what we were doing. Once we got in front of our client base, we found out that they were blown away in the first 2 minutes of the demonstration. It's a very show-me product because we guarantee 100% accuracy, 100% authenticity, 100% of the time, all things being equal. Once that show-me product was seen, we virtually get the second, third, fourth meeting in a close. So it's not about whether the product works or whether the people like it. The problem is we're just a young company getting started, and we just haven't hit the other 500 companies a year we need to hit. So our goal right now is to increase our business model so that we can proliferate those other sales verticals without tampering with the key ones that are going to generate 80% of our net revenue in the next 2 years. So we think that's a very important thing for you to know today.
Great, Phil. Very exciting.
Well,
Thank you for
pleasure.
coming.
Thanks, Haley.
For more information on ID Global Corporation, their technology and management team, please visit their website at www.idglobalcorp.com. Well, that's it for me, Haley Wright. Until the next edition of Emerging Issuer, see you then.